Hello everybody, I hope that you are doing well. I am following up right now on a hot frog system that I unboxed in a previous video and in which I put some of my mom's compost. So I transferred everything into the bottom tray and I knew that I had to manage it. It was a big glob of worms, finished compost, unfinished compost all together. It was very heavy and I knew that I had to do something about it. I did not know what exactly, and that's what I'm figuring out in this video. So first, I wanted to assess what I had in my hands. I'm gonna have to find a term to define the whole system, but what is inside the tray, meaning the worms, the finished compost, the unfinished compost. I'm either gonna call it matter or I'm gonna call it a glob. So the tray was filled to the edge with the glob, and I wanted to see if I could sift some of it to reduce the weight and space used by the glob, but it is useless since it is much wetter than what I am used to maintaining. I kept being distracted by bits and pieces that had no place in a worm bin in my opinion. So little elastic bands, used for vegetables in the grocery stores, clay balls, the shredded parts of what were envelopes, plastic windows, fruit stickers, and so on and so forth. To find one or two in these trays is okay. We do forget sometimes to take them out, but I usually, before putting kitchen scraps into my compost bales or browns in the shredded paper into my browns, I always take out the things that will not be composted because then it gets messy and it takes time to take out of the system. So there is a lot of worms in the glob, and I guess they are feeding of whatever food remnant is left, but I believe it is high time to amp up the activity in this system. There is hardly any food left, and we have to do something about it. As you could see, I tried to sift the glob for a long time before stopping and thinking of another solution. You'll see in other videos that the way I maintain my bins makes it way easier to sieve the product. Right now, the humidity is blocking everything and I cannot get the finished compost. So it has to dry out first. So for this system, I had to redistribute the weight, harvest the finished compost, and make it ready again to receive new kitchen scraps and get it active again. What I'll end up doing is separating this glob in 3 smaller globs. One part will go in the upper tray of the hot frog system. Another one will go revive my Worm Farm 360 that died out. It will be in a following video. And the last part will be left in this tray mixed with matter that will dry out the glob a bit, like coconut coir and shredded paper and the like. By the way, the upper bin is the one I used to store finished compost. I used almost all of it on my plants and as exchange for other plants for my plant collection. And I need to fill the bin back up because spring is right around the corner and I'll have to feed a lot of plants for the spring, indoor plants, and also seedlings that will go in my herb and vegetable garden outside in the summer. For the bin that I am trying to maintain right now, the first thing that will be done, like I said, will be to separate the glob into 3 smaller ones. That's going to be the first thing that will be done. The second thing is I am going to have to get the trays active again with new food after drying out the glob a little bit to maintain a better balance of dryness and humidity. And then the last goal that I set myself to complete with this bin is to harvest the finished compost. This will take several weeks, but I am up to the challenge. I am right now putting some shredded paper on the hot frog in the lower part of the system on the bottom tray. The shredded paper will absorb a little bit of the excess moisture in the bottom tray. On the upper tray of the hot frog, I put a little bit of glob, some shredded cardboard, some torn up publicity papers, toilet paper roll, shredded paper, coconut coir, and I mixed the whole thing. I was comfortable mixing the whole thing to start drying it up a little bit because I knew that this part of the glob had almost no worms. So if they dried up, it was not a problem. I knew how to reactivate the system by putting some more worms in there. But in order to harvest this in a couple of weeks, I needed to dry it up a little bit. There will definitely be follow-ups on that. Because I discovered this hobby a couple of years ago, I never would have thought that this would be so fascinating to me. So there will be more videos about my different systems. I do have a worm farm 360 and 2 big Rubbermaid bins that I made by myself. If you would like to have some information on how to start or why to even get interested in that, let me know in the comments and I will indulge for sure. And in the future, there will also be some news on indoor gardening with indoor plants, outdoor gardening with vegetable and herb plants, and more worm composting videos. In the meantime, I wish you a great day, everybody.